We're working with Photobubble here at the LA Convention Center. The idea that brought us to Photobubble was the director wanted to work in a zero distraction space.
We needed to find a way to shoot cars, a lot of different vehicles, and give them different looks. And we wanted to place them in this, what we kept calling zero distraction environment. So an environment that was just sort of blanketed in white light. As we got deeper into conversations with Claudio Miranda, the DP, and the guys from Photobubble, we realized that there were a lot of options. We didn't have to just bathe the entire set in white.
It's a perfect environment for cars. It's very clean, and the one thing that we wanted to do that was a little different was we wanted to make sure that we felt the motion of the cars.
So what we did is we designed patterns of light, basically shafts of light, patterns of black and white, that we projected from the outside of the bubble. And those sort of light patterns became reflections to accentuate the speed of the vehicles as they're traveling around in the bubble.
What we've been doing is we've been playing with theatrical moving lights, rock and roll lighting, essentially lighting the outside of the bubble and doing, introducing movement physically on the bubble with the lights to continue with that soft light quality on the car, but allow us to see a little bit of movement and variation in the car so we can feel the movement of the car driving along the road. The bubble we're working with today is 300 feet long, 100 feet wide, and 30 feet high. And we've surrounded it with scissor lifts. So there's 20 lifts here, each with 3 moving lights on them. So we have 40 Verilight VL4000 spot fixtures. We have shutter control on those lights. We have color control, obviously intensity and position. We can pan and tilt and zoom the light in and out, make the fields larger and smaller, and we can adjust the focus. And then above the bubble we hung 64 Cineo TrueColor HS fixtures, which is a LED remote phosphor, it's a wash light. The light has the ability to introduce patterns, and it can animate those patterns in various ways. We can spin them and rotate them. And once the lights are stacked next to each other and we're spinning in opposite directions, it has the effect of water or fire. You have a sort of frenetic effect. And then we can introduce color, of course. So we can introduce cyans and blues, or red or orange or green, or whatever we're looking for. And we can layer color as well, depending on the number of fixtures we have. So we sometimes will introduce some cyan, for example, in one part and introduce a deeper blue on the top. And so certainly at this scale, with this many fixtures, we have a tremendous amount of control over what the interior of the bubble looks like. And so it gives us a tremendous amount of flexibility, and we can work incredibly quickly.
Aside from our pre-light day, there's really not been much to do other than the person on the control board.
And you kind of have to remind yourself, as you spend so much time shooting and very little time adjusting lights. At least in our case, we were able to adjust all the lights from a single board. Typically, when you're shooting you need a white environment, you're worried about falling off the edge of the set, or you're moving around stuff. When you switch angles, you're having to move stuff around, and that takes a lot of time. And we didn't have any of those issues.
The great advantage of the bubble is that the cars are reflecting everything that's inside. So we try to minimize as much as possible what's inside the bubble and use the bubble as the light source. And when it's used in that capacity, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful way to work. It really is. We can introduce exposure on one side and decrease it on the other, and we can introduce lighting direction that way. And so we haven't really needed to put anything inside at all.
I don't think we placed a single light inside the bubble, which is pretty amazing. So that gave us the flexibility to really have the cars perform. Didn't have to worry about running into rigging or any other pieces. And for the last 5 days, we've been driving around. We had a pursuit vehicle tracking inside the bubble, and we were able to bring a picture vehicle in there and a camera car and do some really aggressive driving. We're really, really happy. We didn't have to tame down our speeds, and the bubble, the entire time, it's beautifully lit, and we can make adjustments on the fly with really little fuss. It's a really powerful tool.
We've just been really getting a lot of great shots. You don't have to cut. I mean, you just basically follow the cars around, and just keep doing these kind of arcs, and it worked really well.
Anytime you need an ethereal sort of white environment, it's a fantastic tool for that, obviously, but that's not the only thing it does well. It reacts incredibly well to color. Projecting color light or throwing colored light on the bubble works very well. And in today's image capture environment, we don't need so much light anymore where it's unaffordable to light it. We can work at relatively low light levels and still get fantastic images.
You know, really the possibilities are completely endless. And I want to do something, and I want to create a solar system inside the bubble, and you know, use helium balloons and paint them like planets. And that was an idea I had a long time ago. Nobody seemed interested in it.